Hey, everybody. We're here. And there's more of us. We multiplied. So I'm Susan Leonardson.
Andrew Pierre.
We've got Dan Havey in the corner joining us. And then we have Jimmy Allen joining us down here. Well, that's how you guys are on my screen. And my screen's the only one that counts. So.
Oh, man.
So welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out. We are going to be diving in on getting questions answered that we have. So many of the questions. A lot of them are going to be focused on membership sites because that is the workshop that we were working through yesterday. And we were discovering a lot, and we were running into some things that we weren't sure about. So we were compiling our Jimmy list of questions. And now we have Jimmy on to answer as many of those as he can. And then if you guys have specific questions, put them in the comments, and then we'll see if we can get to them while we're here. And there's our very quick intro. Also, let's celebrate how awesome you guys are in this community. We just crossed over 600 members. Woo! Amazing. And we're really excited about that because that means more of you for us to serve. So welcome. Okay, should we just dive in?
Let's do it.
I did not organize these in any sort of way. So how do we want it? We probably should have discussed this before we hit live, but we're just going for it. Do we want to share a screen and work through this stuff? Is anyone prepared for that at the moment? Andrea, Do you have yours ready?
Oh,
that's the one we were working off of yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And pull that up while we... I have the list.
Okay, cool,
I will share the list.
I got the 2.0 up and running.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. That is what I wanted to know.
One thing I was going to say is, did we tell everyone who Jimmy is?
I didn't. I totally asked before the live, and then I totally watched that.
Jimmy's a vagrant. We found him out on the street, and we gave him a sandwich, and he agreed to be on the call with us today.
You see, I was at the grocery store yesterday.
Why don't you introduce yourself? I'm talking a lot.
Sure. Man, I really hope you guys can't hear the barking dog downstairs, but
you're good. I think all of us have animals in our house, so there's going to be noise.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, you guys, I'm Jimmy Allen. I've been at ClickFunnels since it was a project in Todd Dickerson's basement. It's kind of been like my passion, my lifelong career since the ripe age of 18 to 19 years old. I really love the ClickFunnels community. I love everything that Russell and Todd have built, and I love. Sorry, someone.
Keep
ringing.
going. We're muting.
Okay. Susan and Andrea have built this really, really amazing community of people who are not just they're not just the average ClickFunnels user. They're in it. Everyone here is hey, I've got a really super specific niche question. And I'm oh, wow, you guys are in the weeds. And that's where I live all the time. So I'm really happy to be part of a group of people who are just like me, who are hey, I'm trying to figure out how to write a CSS ID on this, blah, 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 and whatever. And it's very, very cool. Long story short, I'm super happy to be here and help answer you guys' questions as best I can.
Awesome.
Yay.
We are so glad that you're here and jumped into our group and that we have you with us. And we have just been able to ask you questions along the way. And it's really been fun. Okay, so I am going to share my screen for a brief moment, and then we'll switch over to Andrea. That's not the right button. Okay, so I'm going to show our list of questions, but it is rough, guys. This is not polished at all. But these are our questions. So I think we're going to just dive in to going through kind of our experience as we were doing it yesterday. And then as we're getting to these spots, or should we just go down the list?
Yeah, let's just go down the list.
Let's just go down the list. Okay. All right. You want to take on that first one, Andrea?
Yeah.
So, Andrea, to start this first question off, I'd actually love a little bit of context because in my head, it's okay, well, there's sections, which sections go on a page, any page in ClickFunnels. And then there's modules, which is a very specific portion of a page inside of a membership site or inside of a customer center and a course and all that. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear.
Sorry, I know there's I don't know. Can you guys hear
Oh.
it dinging right now?
I can.
Yeah, is that coming from any of us, or is that Dan?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So I'm gonna
I
go
muted
ahead
Dan, but I
and
still
so
heard
sorry.
it.
Okay, got it. I turned off all the things. And I'm so
Okay.
sorry, Debbie, that you got cut off there. So let me go to the visual that we were working off yesterday, and I would love. Okay, go ahead. I'm with you now.
Yeah. I think I'm just asking for a little more context because there's two things there that seem like, okay, modules, they belong to courses, and sections, they belong to pages. So I'd love to see like where you were kind of grinding against these two things and something didn't really match up in your head.
Okay, yeah, I love this question.
think it revolves around that modules page, right, Andrea? We were wanting to.
Well, I think it's two.
Go ahead.
I think it's two things. I'm going to pull up that visual that we were working on with the structure. All right. Okay. It's coming up slowly but surely here. So, and it might just be a semantics thing too, Jimmy, and that's why it's getting lost in my brain. So, we have sections as in the editor sections, right? And so that is what, at least in my mind, when I hear sections, that's the first thing that I go to, the editor, structure of sections. But then in current 1.0, we also have sections that are like the headers, right? In membership areas that are like the category of them, right? I know now in 2.0, though, it seems like that concept of sections as a category, it seems like maybe that has been replaced with modules, is the concept of categorizing things in the course unit. And the term sections is just for, in the editor, the sections part. So I guess first is that true?
That is true. Yeah, that's true. So if I can help like guide from top to bottom, like very, very top in the hierarchy, you've got the customer center. This is where someone logs in, they have access to all of their courses that they may have been purchased or enrolled in, products, self-service billing, the whole 9 yards. It's a customer to business kind of portal where the two can interface together. Inside of a customer center, you have courses, right? And a course could be like how to run a chainsaw, right? And I'm teaching people how I pulled a Husqvarna or a Steel 500i out of the box and run it on a tree, okay? And they're learning a thing. Inside of that course may have several modules or what were previously like sections or section headers, right? So it might be like module 1, like unboxing the thing. And each of those modules, there's like the top parent module. And we've done a thing now where you can have the parent module and a nested lesson or a nested submodule.
Got it. Yep. Okay, we saw that. Yeah, and you can go up to 3 submodules, right? From what we can tell.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Got it.
And then the very, very base tier of that is the lesson. I just want to mention that just in case so it doesn't get blown over. Like lessons belong to modules, modules belong to courses, courses belong to customer centers, and customer centers it's where the magic happens, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this visual then, would you, is there anything that you would, I think this is what you just said. So I think we did have it right in that modules equal sections and that hierarchy is true, at least on the last 3 boxes, what you just outlined.
Yeah. And I don't know if it is just semantics at this point, but also mentioning that you can have a nested module underneath a parent module.
Okay. I think that's important. Is it called something different?
I'm sorry?
Oh, is it called something different or is it just still module?
No, it's just it's a nested module.
Okay, got it.
And so I was going to ask, and each one of these modules then can have its own, it's its own page as well. So if somebody clicks on the module, they're going to see whatever content you build for that module page.
That's correct.
Okay. And then you can have different templates for these different modules as well.
That's correct.
Okay. And the same thing with lessons.
Yes.
Okay.
Lessons and modules are predominantly going to inherit from the template that is inside of your theme that's installed on the workspace. Now, it may be a little too forward thinking. I'm going to talk about this in the future, and then I'm going to bring it back to where we're at right now. In the future, you may have a specific course theme applied to 1, 2, maybe 3 different courses. You can have 3 different course themes on 3 different courses, maybe because you're teaching 3 different, unique concepts. And from there, your lesson and module templates will inherit from the theme applied to that specific course. Okay. The reality right now, though, tying it back to where we're at right now in the ClickFunnels universe, is your course inherits by default the site theme, and you can go through with in advanced settings cogs in specific places and do template overrides. So if you have a different module page or lesson page that you want to apply to this specific lesson because you need to incorporate a special download link, or it needs to be a different color that deviates from the palette on the theme, whatever your reason might be, you have that optionality. It's just a little more advanced, and it takes a little bit more mind tracking to keep track of where all those things are at.
Okay, so if I were to summarize what you just said, Jimmy, if I heard you right now, the theme is associated with the site, the workspace. Is that right? So the theme is associated with the workspace that's connected to the course that's connected to the module.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So so that would look like that. But in the future, if I have, so let's just say that this is that course 1, right? So that theme bleeds all the way through. But in the future, if I were to have another course, I could potentially apply a different theme onto that course in the future, but it's not there right now.
Correct. And okay. I do want to mention that, let's say there is a different theme too, you can go build those different pages and associate those template pages to course 2. But it's not done in a nice and pretty way. It's done in the advanced settings cog drop down, what page do you, or what template do you want to override here? And it's not the best experience, and that's why I'm saying this now, but also painted the future. Hey, we realize where it's at now, and we did it out of necessity, but here's where it's going.
Okay, got it. Cool.
So let me just clarify. So what you're really saying is, for every single lesson, every single module we make, we can set a different style guide for it.
Template. You can make a template page and override your template.
So you make a template, and then you associate your style guide with that. And then how do you build, and I'm probably jumping the gun here, but how do you take your template and then turn it into a page? So I want to create 3 different templates, let's say. How do I create 3 different templates? And because I have not been able to figure out how to clone a template and then get it to show up in the lesson editor.
That is a very, very deep in the weeds, and I think having maybe ClickFunnels 2 visual up here would be useful.
Dan, do you have your account ready to show them what you're trying to do?
You know what danger we always get into.
Okay. Do you guys see my screen?
Let's use Let's use Andrea's. Right. Okay, so Dan, tell us what you're trying to do, and Andrea can maybe
go into courses. Well, I don't see. Here's the thing: is I don't know if we have to go into courses, because if I want, we have, so you get out of the box, you get a lesson, and I think it's called example lesson template is, I think, what it comes straight out of the box. My question is then, how can I make 3 different lesson templates?
It's up now, Susan, if you want me to. Okay.
Okay. Do you guys mind if I take over the screen really fast? I think I might have something here.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
Ooh, look at all this fancy technology.
Can you guys see what I'm looking at here?
Yes, now we can.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So really fast, just to show you guys where I was at. I just went into the settings cog on module 1, lesson 1 right here. Mm-hmm. And I just expanded the advanced settings on here. And it looks like if I want to do a style overwrite, I can associate a different style here. And then if I want to select a template page, I can do so right here. Now, I think, Dan, your question is, okay, you have all these template pages. How do I curate these template pages?
That's the problem. I don't see all those. I see one. I see like the one in the upper left-hand corner. That's all I see. So how do I get, because I could have figured that part out if those that all showed up there. How do I get them to show there?
Oh, man. Well, it looks like there's probably some correlation here. Since I've got 22 different results, I might have.
Yeah, because clearly module Orion's whatever, that's clearly not something that came with it.
Yeah. This might be a perk of having a really old account. I would want to say that, because what I saw here.
Can I ask a quick question? So does this that we're looking at right here, where it says select a template, is there something that we have to do to turn a page into a template, or does it just kind of automatically show all of your pages that you've ever created right here?
My assumption right here is that these template pages are actually course-specific template pages.
Okay.
And so, because every single one of these has courses in the title, and I know I didn't write all these titles because I would have been a little more intentional about it. So I'm going to venture over to the pages portion, and I'm going to look at my theme pages, and I'm going to search for courses on here.
Okay, so if you see the one there, example courses, lesson template, okay? I was in the editor, and I went in and I completely rebuilt that one, not thinking that what I was doing was rebuilding my default template. But so I did that, but then I came in here then later and I cloned it and I gave it a new name. And then at that point where it ended up was in the standalone pages. So maybe if I was able to move it back into the themes, maybe it would show up. But again, I'm only seeing one theme when I go into the lessons.
Yeah. I don't know that I have a pretty answer for that right now. It's probably something that I would need to go and like really, really grind against and figure out like where, when, why, and how are these pages, like how can I actually get something to overwrite on a theme?
Well, we clearly have the ability to clone it. So if I could just clone it, have it be here, and then show up on the other page. But I mean, it could be my account, or it could be, I mean, you got it working in yours, so it's got to be a feature. So maybe it's just my account.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got to have tons and tons of themes in here, and all these copies and clones and clones and copies of course templates that are all being populated inside of there.
Okay, wait a second. So hang on a second here. So you're seeing this under themes. Do you then associate that theme? Because I didn't click here. I clicked on pages and then themes.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm referencing right here is that, like, take this first theme, funnel performance, and the second one, general funnel hub and physical products. Each one of these themes has a courses section template, right? And so all of these courses section templates are showing up on that pop-up for my advanced settings here.
Okay, so I got to go into the themes and build out a theme with a course page, course lesson page.
To create your own? Is that what you're saying, Dan?
Yeah.
I can see that as being a workaround. Of course, it's not pretty. It's not nice.
I just want to be able to create a couple of templates so I can start doing something.
One of the things that we kind of, as we were building out the courses hierarchy and everything, we used to have like module pages as being like very customizable, and to be able to do exactly what you're asking right now and do like make a clone of the current theme page, but then like deviate from it in some form or fashion, and then assign that module, that new module template to the module, but it blew up very, very fast. I mean, people were wanting to like customized, and then we had like hundreds of rows. I mean, our marketing department, like, they went nuts with it, and it became a very confusing and not very organized kind of functionality. So we actually scrapped away from it.
Well, question, because I know right now, like even if we go back to the basics of themes, so right now it presents as though we have to pick a current theme. I only have 4 that are options. So then if we wanted to make our own theme, we would have to pick one of these and then basically completely redo every page in the theme and then rename it whatever we want to rename it. Is that right?
Or duplicate. You can also duplicate and deviate from there.
Got it. Okay. So, but we would go in and make our own. It's like delete everything out and then add our own stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then it sounds like in order to leverage or in order to use templates, like you showed us, Jimmy, in the advanced, we have to have those templates available. It has to live inside of a theme. It has to be connected to a theme.
That's my assumption right now, just based off of what I was seeing, because all of them had very similar titles. They all had courses section in the name.
Okay.
And so that's my assumption right now, without having tapped anyone on the shoulder to look at the underlying code or having spoken with anyone on the courses team.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Just a really quick address of somebody was asking about the basically it's a show hide function. I think that the same show hide function is available in the editor, and we could probably do a quick live or something about it just to address that question.
I'm not following. Is it this comment that's in the
about the 49 lessons with transcripts?
Here.
Yeah.
Here's this comment.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. It's just the show hide feature that we would typically have, right, in similar to 1.0. Is that how you guys would do it?
I'm able to base off over every lesson. So, I mean, every lesson will have its own unique dynamic content area. And so if you're essentially copying that transcript, and is it custom code or is it an element? Like it says it's like an accordion, open up and close it.
Yeah.
So that's probably custom code. So if you save your custom code as like a saved section, and then for every lesson that you create, you'll go and apply the saved section. Don't do a universal section, because then you'll basically be like, for every n+1 transcript that you're pasting in, you're overwriting the previous one.
Yeah.
So save section, for transcript mod, or podcast section 1, dump that in there, copy it over, put the new transcript on the next lesson, and it should go pretty fast for you.
Yeah. And we yesterday we covered that in the workshop. It was a little bit later. We should figure out how to like timestamp it. But yeah, we covered exactly how to do what Jimmy just said in the save section and bring it in to the next one.
Yeah, I can't see that commenter in our live over here, but we'll get you what we did yesterday, because I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So just to wrap up the topic that we were just talking about, I want to share my screen, because we originally started out defining like, okay, what is sections and what is modules?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what spawned our question here on my screen. So this is a course home, I believe. And we have course title, and then we were seeing section title. And what we are now understanding is this is actually modules. This is why we were like, are sections the same as modules? Not in relation to sections on like the page, like the green sections that you're adding onto a page. So that was just what kind of spawned that question.
Can I help clear some confusion on that really fast?
Yes.
That has been a confusion point since very, very early on, because of the way that the database tables were written.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured it was because that's just the way that the code has to be written, but we're like officially calling them modules.
My headache is that I don't believe that it had to be written that way. It's just that it was, and we already we would have had to like clear a bunch of stuff out and delete stuff that was already published. And so sections in the code are really modules to a user.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. But
And that was my assumption
the
coming into this
user
conversation.
are in the editor. What's that?
I was going to say this was my assumption, but I didn't want to assume that you guys were like looking at this. I wanted to make sure I understood what you guys were like trying to figure out. But that's well known.
That's what spun us into. Well, that one,
Right.
and then when Todd was talking about modules and the dynamic modules, I think the combination of those two things, we were like, whoa, wait a second. So, but I think you've clarified it in terms of that sections are modules, except for when you're in the editor, sections are sections.
If the section's got green on it, it's an editor section.
Editor section, yes.
So that was so that last page you had up there on the screen, that was a course section. So
that was the homepage.
That was something, yeah.
Yeah,
was
sorry,
the
Dan, go ahead.
homepage of the course.
Go
Okay.
back to it.
All right, so it said course template on it. So when somebody comes in, they're going to come in through the customer center. They're going to click on an image. That will then take them to this page here because this is the course homepage. And then from here, you're going to have your individual modules on there. And then they click on a module and it opens up the module. Now, does this course page have to be used, or can you send them somewhere different from the customer center?
I think this goes hand in hand with the deep linking question.
Okay. How?
Does this course home template have to be used? If you are on the customer center show view and you link in like course link, that course link element that's like dynamically populated, it usually says go to and then like double curly bracket, that's going to take you to the course home.
Okay.
Now, if you just put a link in there and hyperlink it to wherever you want it to go, it'll go wherever you want it to go.
Okay. So if you're using the standard ClickFunnels stuff, you put in your image that is associated with the course, that will then auto-populate right into the customer center page. And then it will also have a link that you would have associated with it, which would then automatically take them to that course homepage. But if we modify it and put in just an image without the link, then we can have that link, the action on the image, go to any page we want.
Yeah, it could go to like google.com if you link it there.
I usually like to send most of my traffic to Google. Yes. They
And
appreciate it.
And I think, Jimmy, just to give you the and Dan, I don't want to speak for you, but to give you if I'm reading your mind, because I know the genius you do in membership areas, I think, Jimmy, one of our, concerns isn't the right word, but one of the things is that you've given us so much power to link, right? In terms of the hierarchy. And we can very much see the use case where we're trying to simplify and we don't want a user to have to traverse 3 levels of navigation. You know what I mean? And so I think the root of the question is just, can we skip some of the parent level to, really get them right into the place that they need to be? And so I think
I could see something really useful being like, hey, welcome back so-and-so. And like as far as merge tags go, like first name is like something that you can currently populate in there. Like, welcome back, Jane.
Exactly.
Pick up where you left off.
Exactly.
Here, right? And then it takes them right to their progress track stuff.
You got it.
I could see
That's
that
exactly
really
it.
good.
That was always one of the things that bugged me about Kajabi was you always had to go through like 3 or 4 pages just to finally get to the content.
Right. Yep.
And so that was tough. But to answer a deeper question that Andrea has, where she asked a question about deep linking, there you got, if you're going to send somebody to a lesson that they have access to, you can just give them the link to that lesson page and they can just go straight there. You can send it to them in an email or something, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're logged in is what we have discovered. That's what we were testing yesterday.
Yeah,
if they're not logged in, it puts them into the customer center page. If they are logged in, it will take them to where the link is.
But when they went to the customer center page and they logged in, did that then still take them directly to the lesson? So it took them to the It took them to
It takes them to log in, and then once they've logged in, it puts them onto the customer center page.
And I think we have that as a feature request now, right?
It is
to
logged.
Yeah, sweet.
It's
Awesome.
logged as a
So
feature.
vote up it.
Somewhere.
We're gonna have to do like voting up on the black market or something, you know?
Oh my god. You'll start blowing up my feature request board.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts.
Let's see. Okay, so should we move on to the next question? Are we all satisfied with
that's good. I think
that?
we're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
My next one, I think we kind of got it answered, but I don't know. I wanted to check if we're all confident in understanding this. So I will share. Number 2 is, what's the point of the module page? And I think that we probably discovered more about that as we kept working. Like there's the opportunity to use those pages, but we don't necessarily have to if we want to link it bypass it by linking it differently. I think hand in hand with that though, I don't know, Andrea, do you have up ready for like either the module page or the lesson page that we were working on yesterday? I'm noticing a lack of, what is it called, Dan? The navigation that goes on the left, sidebar. There's the lack of having like a sidebar on any of the templates. So I guess I kind of want to define what would be a proper way of setting that up, because we were starting to do that yesterday, and I don't know that we got very far with it. Because I think when we're looking at, let me show, and maybe Andrea, you have this up faster than I do, but here's our customer center. And then let's say we click on to enter a course. Based on how we're all used to this functioning, and even with like official ClickFunnels programs like 2CCX or the Funnel Builders program, once you click to enter into a course, you're landing on a page that already has the sidebar navigation on it. It's not a page that looks like this module page, which is where it takes you when you click on a course, right? Am I understanding that right? Did we figure out like once you click on a course, it's actually taking us to this module page?
That shouldn't be correct. If you clicked into a link for a course from a customer center, it should take you to the course home. The course home has a collection of modules, and those modules have collections of nested modules or nested lessons.
Thank you. Yeah. So I skipped the course homepage. So you're right. It's landing us here. Mm-hmm. And then these are the modules. And so then once you click on the module, it takes you to that module page. So now we're like 3 pages in, and I'm still not to a lesson. So that's why we were talking about bypassing that. But at what point does it make sense to have a sidebar navigation on? Like none of the templates have that on there. And I think that that's potentially a problem for people that are getting started and they don't know what they're doing.
I can explain that really simply. I built a lot of the themes, and right now the sidebar navigation is technically classified as a beta element. We're still like hammering through it a good bit. So you can actually look at it right now. It won't look pretty or anything because it's just gonna be in the middle of your page, but just go back up to the top or add it down there. That works too.
Yeah, I was just gonna, because we kind of were doing it yesterday.
But now this sidebar element that you're talking about here, this isn't even close to the same as what is actually in the 2CCX program now.
My spidey senses are telling me they might have custom coded something.
I think that they did.
It's right down to the HTML they coded.
Yeah. And that's which makes sense if it's not ready yet. You guys are still actually trying to develop this sidebar thing. So
that's a really good way.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that it is hard coded.
Well, and it's also a really good way. I mean, just so the folks that are maybe listening that aren't I think a lot of times people don't totally understand like the SaaS process. And so I also just want to say like, yes, even though it is hard coded and that is not something that is like scalable or deployable, it's also a really good way to get like user feedback, on a potential, hey, should we invest in dev to do this, And so anyway, just want to say like, I think it's okay that it's hard coded, especially because I mean, you guys are probably getting a ton of great data on the use of that sidebar for should we put it in or not. But
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's a few there's a few things that have been had some special touches.
Yeah. It took me 3 hours yesterday to duplicate one of those special touches. So yeah.
That's true. Well, the code is technically there, but I don't know. I didn't dig far enough to see where the
I didn't look at your
script is
code.
posted.
I didn't look at your code. I just built it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So this would be what I'm doing right now would be what one would want to do. I don't know if I'm on the right page that we would do this on. So
I
this
actually
is
have a
personal.
helpful suggestion.
Okay.
Basically, so like you have in these templates, there's always there's a nav, like a universal nav, and then there's always a universal footer, and then for your body content that sits in between those two, if you sat, I'm wondering how this is actually possible, because there's universal sections. And I guess you would want that nav to be part of the universal section, but it doesn't have to be. Never mind. All right, I redact my suggestion.
Mhm.
Well,
Because that's a great point, right? Of like, okay, if I'm going to start building out a course and I'm going to need this navigation to be on maybe a few of my template pages. And so I'm either going to need to probably just save this row or save a section as a template and then go insert it onto all of my other template pages as a universal section, right? Is that where you were going with that?
Like, so if you notice the liquid text syntax that we have right there, there's like course title. It's kind of small for me, but it's essentially course.thing, course.thing.
Yeah.
All of that's going to get dynamically rendered based off of the actual contents that you've populated inside of your course. So that's why I took my comment back. It's like, well, it's just going to dynamically populate across any of these pages. So
you just need to drop the element in.
Just drop the element in, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that would actually be.
Sense.
So it's universal without being universal. Yeah.
Look at that. They thought of everything.
Do we still have like active member nav kind of concept, or is that still would be a CSS thing to highlight the active member nav?
So the lesson that they're in that's active does it signify what it is so that we can change the CSS?
There's colors down here, Andrea, that you can
active
change.
Color. Perfect. Yay. Good job.
Okay. Sorry, you said active member nav, and
that's 1.0. Sorry.
That's the CSS class in 1.0 navigation elements.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's where we got that from.
I was playing around with like dynamic content rendering and stuff like that. So I have one thing that's like if users like actively signed in, then display active sign-in email or something like that down at the bottom of the page. Like you're actively signed in as so-and-so at hotmail.com. And that's what I thought you were talking about. And I was like, oh no, I know we were going there today.
No.
That's a whole other day. That's not even really working yet, that stuff, the dynamic stuff. It's working. Okay.
You just have to know what you're going to type. And we haven't surfaced all of the whole repertoire of referenceable liquid syntax items, but it's coming.
It's not ready for time yet, so we won't even talk about it.
Okay.
That'll be a different day.
All right.
All right. Let's see. We go here. Go away there. Okay. So I think, all right. Our next one was relationship between the customer center, workspaces, domain, and URL. I don't really remember what our context
can you pull up
was
your
on
screen
this
just
one.
a little bit? Sorry.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Here we go.
What we were working on.
Yes, I know exactly what this is. If you want to, I can share my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the questions, and I'm sure this is going to take us down another rabbit hole, which is just so fun. Okay, so one of the questions that we have when we were trying to understand the architecture of it is that we know the customer center login page is, we thought, was tied to one workspace. But, you know, there is the teachable model where, like, if I buy something from Jimmy and from Susan and from Dan, I have like one teachable login. I go into teachable and I can see all of my universities right there. So we weren't sure, and this might be too future and you might not be able to comment to it, but we weren't sure if the ClickFunnels strategy was one more of teachable, or if it was one of, okay, no, it's just going to be a customer center that's within, and it's controlled by the domain level. So there's only one customer center per domain, and then I would log in and see that.
Huh. Okay. So Kajabi's mobile app kind of behaves that way as well. And I think we're entertaining something like that as a build coming down the pipeline. But right now, the reality is that for every customer center login, it's hosted at a specific domain. So domain /customer-center. And that is specific to your workspace. Okay.
And right now we can only have one domain per workspace.
Is that the case? Sorry, if that's a planned thing. No, you're right. So it's like because there's no way to select a specific domain just on the customer center level. So yeah, so the customer center is inheriting what the site's domain is.
Yeah,
you can go ahead and add in a bunch of custom domains. But yeah, you're right in that assumption. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess if we wanted to get really crazy with the cheese whiz, we can maybe use the URL redirect tool to, if we had multiple domains that we wanted to feed into one customer center. So like one of the ideas that we had is like, you know, if we think of like Brendan Bouchard with Growth Day, right? Where there's like Jenna Kuchar stuff, and there's like Mel Robbins stuff, and there's, you know, all these different people, where to have like a conglomerate, you know, customer center that all of us could feed into.
Is the purpose to track who's sending the most people into your training?
I didn't even think about that, but that'd be amazing. I think it was more just a, you know, how shared could the customer center be was one of the questions.
Okay. It's a cool idea. I think that, so this is always a struggle, right? So everyone here is a wizard, and not 100% of the ClickFunnels population are all comprised of wizards.
I think you're being generous. I think the majority of the population will not be wizards if we know anything about product adoption. So I think you were correct.
Yeah. So doing wizardry like that is always really tough, because it's like, oh, we want to do this. We want to do this hyper specific thing because it's going to, you know, help our specific use case. And it's like, but the 99 over here, like they just need to plug their information in and get somebody to sign up and pay them.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So it could technically go that way. I think we'd have to do a little bit of work on our end to make that happen. But I don't think that that's necessarily the case yet about like domain sharing. Of course, the redirects are always there. Like go to joeschmo.com/Andrea's course and redirect them over to your course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I think that maybe probably all of us would agree, but my hope is that ClickFunnels does continue to make the decisions based on the mass adoption and not on the wizards, because the wizards will figure it out. We're with you. So I'm more for like, let's grow the platform and get more people on it.
It's funny because
all of us wizards, you know,
ClickFunnels, like in the marketing department, like we are our own wizards. Like we just talked about how, there's like a really cool customer center nav or course nav. Like, how come like everyone else doesn't have something like that? Well, it's like, they went in and jankified it, and you know, if we shared that with everybody, now everyone needs to understand HTML and JavaScript, and that's just not the case for everybody. So I totally, I get. Yeah.
Your course is still needed.
It definitely is still needed. But what I was going to say is the nice thing about ClickFunnels, and you guys even enhanced this with ClickFunnels too, is the ability to be able to do the custom code in there.
Yeah, it's
and
so
I
nice.
really appreciate the way you guys put in the way you did the attributes now, and having the page name the element name in the layout list being
So
actually
nice.
different than the attributes that you can put in there.
Yep.
The only problem I have with it is I really kind of wish they were like in the same place. It would be really nice if you're adding those attributes, because you're adding the attribute to the element. It'd be really nice if you added the attribute in that little right sidebar where you're doing the CSS and the JavaScript.
Would it be nice if you've added one attribute and then there's like a tiny list of recent attributes created associated with elements on that page? And that way it's like, okay, let's say you've got a bunch of images that you want styled a certain way. Maybe they all need to be like with a heart carved out or something like that. And then you wrote a custom data attribute that
That's how I build.
Dan's a big
it's a
guy.
Valentine's Day special, right? So you write a custom data, treat a custom data attribute almost like a class, right? And then it's like that clip path, and then you can take that custom data attribute and apply it to many image elements.
Yeah, I mean, if that was down there, you could just copy it. But the other thing for me is, I mean, just to go off on a tangent here just for a second, is that the CSS box at the bottom, it'd be really nice if you could resize that thing. Like, just grab a hold of it, pull it up taller, because it's this tall. You get like 4 lines of code in it. I know you can click the one button and it goes full screen, but I don't know. For me, I just want to resize.
There you go, Dan. Just do
I know. Yeah, but now I can't see my page. So now I can't see my page. So if I'm putting in some CSS, the CSS kicks in automatically. If I could see it, I could see where something changes on the page as I'm typing it in. If I got it full screen, then I got to close the screen, look at it, open the screen back up again. So, I mean,
Life
that's
must
just
be really hard for Dan Havey.
well, you should see the widget I built for 1.0 that I use to change the size of all of the CSS and the custom whatever the tracking.
So you're
code.
just gonna have to do that for 2.0 too.
Well,
Yeah.
trust me, I'm already working on it.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm working on popping that loose so you can move it anywhere you want on the page.
You know, I jokes aside, I do take notes of when people who are editor wizards, you know, I know a handful of them, people who want it to be like a fully fledged design tool. Like I want it to go that way too, because I love funnel design. I love spending time in the editor. But I also have this philosophy that the longer you spend in the editor, if you spend all your time in the editor, you spend no time making money.
Unless your job is to build those sites that require the editor.
There you go. Right.
That is true, which is all of us here. Okay, so let's move on to this one. Will we be able to edit the login access page in the future? And we are talking about this page here.
I know exactly which page you're talking about. And
Yeah. Okay.
the issue right now, and I'll just say it, like it's coming down the pipeline. And we know that it needs to get out sooner than later, but this is a safe, stable place for us to have customers launch customer centers and courses. But coming down the pipeline is the customer center sign-on element, right? So everything that's inside of that white column doesn't exist as an element yet. So that's all. This is all like app code, and soon you will have that capability. In which case, then we need to provide a customer center like sign-on page, and you can do all kinds of wizardry and magic that you would like to do. After that point, but that element's got to get built, and then build a page that hosts it, like in the theme, and then we'll be off to the races.
And I'm
So
curious.
it's basically going to be an access page like in 1.0.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think that they have way better user experience just out of the box features here than 1.0 right now. Because no more so Dan created some code for us so we don't ever have to worry about the crazy secret login versus regular login. It's like one login. So which was fantastic for all of it reduced our help tickets by 99% on login issues.
Okay.
So that was huge. But the new trend that I'm seeing with my clients is that they want a no password option so that they could just use it as a lead gen strategy and access to training. I'm curious if you guys have been chatting about that or if that would fall into the wizardry realm.
No password. I mean, is that essentially just the the magic sign-in link?
I guess it
Password
could be.
lists?
Yeah, I guess it could be the magic link. Yeah, the way that we were thinking about 1.0 is basically like hiding the password element and just auto populating it with a generic password. You know what I mean? For when people get in. But
I think that, so just thinking this end to end, there will have to be some kind of optionality where someone can become a, let's for terminology's sake, a member of a customer center. They'll need to be able to create an account and or use of magic sign-in link for the first time, in which case their contact profile is created. They're also a member of the customer center. But then they'll also need to be able to access content that they're not actively enrolled in.
right.
And I think surfacing that like kind of functionality probably needs to be brought up or shown, like show people an example of what it looks like to give them free content or freemium content or, you know, paid exclusive content, etc.
Yeah. I think that's one on our list of questions of the we have, you know, the 4 different scenarios where it's like completely don't show, only show under a condition, show with an upsell route, and then there was one other one, show after, which is kind of a show with condition, but
I think that, and are you talking, so there's, and of course there's levels here, right? So like show module 2 after module 1's been completed, show module 8 after they purchase product B.
right.
And maybe it's like the gold tier and they've only been, you know, how they've only bought into silver tier so far. I think that can all be done under the settings config for each of those.
We saw the under modules, we did see like only show after this lesson and only show on this date and show drip. So we found those. I was more thinking on the customer center page where like right now, you know, we can control show, don't show, or show with lock on the 3 combinations of tags, products, and Wasabi OTO, right? And so we were just trying to figure out like on the customer center, is there a way, you know, like how would we control like show, don't show, show with lock?
Great question. You guys want to go there and click around? You want to figure it out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Andrea, you should pull that up.
Okay, I'll share my screen. We're not sure. Let's see.
Now, while you're pulling that out, so Jimmy, you said there you could move them on to the next lesson after they had completed the existing one. Is the trigger for that just them clicking the button that says, "Hey, I've completed this"?
Yeah, right now it's the mark as complete button. Yeah,
that's it. Boom. Okay, so there's nothing to do with videos, nothing to do with having completed something.
Since we're hosting the videos, with Voomly now, there will be coming very soon the functionality of like they need to watch at least 80% of my video or something like that, and then they can go on to the next lesson. But that's not 100% yet. So
now, if you're incorporating Voomly into there, are you also incorporating then the video funnel functionality from Voomly, where you could put in like buttons and stuff and then branch them off into other videos?
More wizardry.
I'm gonna. That's all built into Voomly right now.
Yes. The short answer is no.
You open.
I might leave that at the. I might leave it at the short answer because I mean there's a whole conversation about technology stacks and routing and I mean the short answer is no.
Okay. But
that's outside the scope of the questions.
Just to let everybody know, for Voomly though, you can create that functionality in your Voomly account, grab a hold of the embed code, and just drop it into a custom JavaScript HTML box, and it works great. I've tested it.
Cool. That's awesome.
And if you guys don't know what Voomly is, go look it up because it's really super cool, and I wish I had an affiliate link.
Yes. I did get a question yesterday, though, from a client about like, hey, can we load videos in 2.0? Like, can I get rid of my Vimeo? And so I did feel safe in saying, yes, you can load your videos. We're still working through like, is the overall experience of the membership experience there. But like the loading of the videos is solid. We did it yesterday. It rendered. It was great. So
Yeah, did you guys see Todd pushed like a 2-hour hot fix on being able to, like, as you're building out the course content. Before it was like you had to select a video from a drop down. You would have previously needed to go to like my settings, my files, videos, add video. Now you can just drag and drop the video as you're building the content.
that's awesome. I did not see that.
The actual video itself. So you pull in the video element and then you can open it up and grab the video right there.
Yeah, I know that the
element.
screen's not in front of us right now, but if you can imagine, just like those, it's like you expand to drag and drop in like the feature image or the lesson image or whatever it is, and then you expand to add audio. And for both the audio and video, I know for sure video. I'm not sure 100% on audio, but I'm pretty sure he went top to bottom on there. It was like they need to be able to just drag and drop their stuff in here. Like they don't need to go back to settings and my files to go grab all their stuff, dump it in there, upload it, and then go back and reference it. It needs to just like drag and drop. So
Andrea, can you pull up your screen and see if you can show that, or were you going to show something else?
I was trying to. It's loading right now.
With your fast internet.
With my amazing old computer. That's it. I'm gonna start a fund for like get Andrea a new computer because we're behind with her speed.
Tip jar for your computer.
That's right. Okay, so this was Jimmy, to what you were saying. This is one of those save sections that we brought in yesterday. So this is a typical build like what we would do in 1.0. So it worked pretty well yesterday. Oh, the only thing, this is on our list of questions. Actually, now that we're here, maybe I should just ask it super quick. And that is, it seems like this lesson content box inherits padding. Like it inherits padding somewhere. We don't know where. Because like when we were making this section, we had it perfectly lined up with this section up here. But when we brought it into the lesson content area, this lesson content area seems like it has some kind of padding or something. We weren't sure where, because then now it gets all messed up, like with the on the sides.
Okay. You said it was side padding. Was it side padding or top
side
padding?
Yeah, I was going to say, look at the open the sidebar.
It's side padding.
Oh, I know. I think I know what it is. Go to it's a single row.
Okay.
So so we built the section on this page like as the template page. Like we went to edit the template and built the section, and we made everything line up to the width of that video that's up above. But then saving that section as a template and then dropping it into the content. So that's like the dynamic content box that it's in right now. It added that padding, and there isn't a way that there appears to
it's
be
in the
any
column.
way.
It's 16 pixels of column margin, left and right.
Well, you're talking all the white space on either side of that, aren't you, Susan? So that's much more.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the dynamic lesson content box.
Right. And I don't see that dynamic lesson content box. I mean, unless we can see.
Well, you'd probably have to go to the the template page for that, right?
Do you mind humoring me really fast and clicking on any of the columns that are inside of that section?
Inside of this section here?
Yep.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Oh, it's all zeroed out?
Yeah.
Drat, I thought I was going to be super smart.
Yeah, that might have to be something that we record what we did and then submit it.
Andrea, actually, as you notice there, when you pull that margin back over to the right again, you're going to see where it's doing it from. So that's there is clearly some margin or whatever on the sides. Now, obviously, once you guys have this going, we'll open it up, we'll inspect it, we'll find out where it is, we'll use some CSS, we'll get it out. But that's
there we go.
Fix.
It was there.
That fix is not what did you do?
Oh, it was the width.
It was the width. It auto-inherited a width
of the row.
Yay, I get to be the smart one for a second.
There we go.
It's that 80%.
Yep. It's the width that was inherited. It must have inherited, even though it was 100% when we built it, when it came in that area, it didn't.
You're in the
You
element.
went on the element and not the
Yeah,
row.
sorry.
Okay, awesome. Well, we figured that out.
Yay.
Thanks,
All right.
Jimmy.
It wasn't me.
It's all Jimmy.
I was sniffing in the right
You're
area.
here,
though.
so.
Right,
So
exactly.
now, and again, Jimmy, I'll give you guys some props again for the layout at the top, because as you saw there, Andrea's having all kinds of trouble trying to get into that row. With the layout the way you guys have it at the top, basically following the DOM tree down, it's so much easier just to go in there.
Oh, there's an even faster way too. So click on an element, click on like action 2 headline.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
there's breadcrumbs.
Like go through the breadcrumbs, yeah.
yeah, you can go through the breadcrumbs too.
Like that up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
especially with the columns. The columns are hard to grab a hold of sometimes. And
Yeah.
And you have to like cover it with the right area.
All the time already. That's slick too. And the other thing that I like is how you can, when you're in the layout, you can grab a hold of like a row or something, and you can actually take it back into the page, and then just go down the page and drop it where you want it inside the page.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys built that on purpose, but it ended up that way.
Yep. Cool. Okay, well, I will have to peel off. So do you want to start driving, Susan?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Is that I don't have access into that workspace of yours, right? I'll just start working out of our Geek Out one.
Yeah, sorry, you should have access. I can add you as what we found out yesterday as a collaborator, right? Is that what we figured out? Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay.
Hey, Jimmy, thank you so much for your time today. It was so nice just being able to crawl inside your brain. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
okay,
right,
guys.
so
See you later.
Andrea
Happy geeking out.
Bye, Andrea.
Okay, so Susan,
Okay.
when you get in there, I still want to see this video thing that Jimmy was talking about, because I'm a little bit unclear on
Okay.
it. But so that would be fantastic, and then we can go from there.
1 second, because I also had a question that I think pertains to something we were talking about before with enrollments. And I was distracted setting up my email so I can get into the workflow so I can show. So I don't think this got answered yet. Okay, I'm creating my workflow. So is there a way to, you were talking about like giving someone like some trial access, like give them a little bit of a taste of a course, like give them maybe 7 days access and then take it away. Do you know how that would get accomplished? And I have a suspicion that it might be with the workflows, but I'm going to see what your thoughts are on that, if you have any. And if you don't know, that's okay. We can maybe explore it together.
Tagging, that's a cool idea. I would say, yeah, probably based on tag. Add, remove, tag after 7 days in a workflow would.
So I haven't explored this enough to know yet. Do we have that ability right now? Let me see. Event type. I don't know. Let's go with opt-in. I'm not sure.
I was on a call earlier for the
Order
Funnel Builders
successful.
program, and Jason Economides, and he told me to say hi to you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He said something like, "Yeah, I haven't quite gotten a chance to look at I think it was the funnel flow something part of it or whatever." And we all started laughing. I go, "Yeah, because there's 200 other things ahead of it that you had to look at and figure out first, because this thing's a beast. I mean, it really is. It's going to be fantastic when it's all up and running and we figured out how to use it. But I see why it took 2-3 years to even build what you have so far, because this is just massive."
Okay, so I do see we can do tags, add and remove tags. So you'd put a tag.
There's also there's a workflow step for enroll in course. So
I was gonna say,
yeah.
So I think that would be the other way. I mean, can you remove enrollment though?
That's a great question. Let's check the settings.
So we want to do enroll. So it doesn't look. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's an remove enrollment, but that might be something to request. But it looks like it could be done with tags. We're able to use tags on the, like for enrollment, right? Like if they get this tag, then give them access. That I have not looked into yet. So
There should be on like a
let's go look.
module or lesson create basis that like they need to have a specific tag or product in order to access the thing.
Let's see. I didn't. So you said on the module level. Do I go here?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that.
Nope, not there.
It's supposed to be there.
'Cause I thought you set that up at the product level. I thought I saw it in there.
Yeah, product grants access
Oh.
to course.
Let's try there. Here's my best burger course.
I saw some videos of you building that out. I was like, this is just that's just comical. So I was joking about chainsaws earlier, and I was like, I legitimately had a chainsaws for dummies demo course that we built out when it first became functional.
Oh no, that's not. That's grouping and organizing. Where did you say you found it, Dan?
I've only been in the product thing one
Oh, okay.
time.
I thought you just said like, "Ha, I found it." That's not what you said.
I was laughing at Jimmy because he said your course was hilarious.
My burger. I want to build. I make really good burgers. I think I want to make that course. Russell
about
started with the potato gun course. I can do a burger course.
Open up the purchase actions.
Digital asset
Well-
access. Not that one. We want to do course access.
So if somebody buys this, they get access to that course.
You can
That's
choose.
not what you're trying to figure out, was it?
Well, we're trying to figure out how would you give it based
Are
on
these
a
the actual
tag.
modules here then?
Yeah, so those are the modules. So you could hypothetically have demo course 1 selected and then deselect the first 2 modules, and then if they want access to the marketing one, then they need to buy the product.
Right. Yeah. So that's one scenario, right? Like you set up a product that is specific to just giving them access to the first module, and then you could probably set it for free. But then how would the question still remains like, what if you wanted to take away access? And that looks like you'd have to do it through tags, but I'm not sure if we can do it through tags because it doesn't look like we can give access based on tags at this point. So maybe that's a future thing.
Yeah. I'm running through this stuff, triple checking, trying to see where we would need to products. This course is included in. So that associates products that are referenced, and then to do edit content for this lesson. Publishing content URLs.
So
It's gone. It used to be here, I swear.
Okay.
Well,
So
just
it
like
may back.
just the color picker used to show the colors from the style guide too, but that's gone too.
It's on its way back.
Yeah, I hope so. That's definitely needed.
Yeah, it's on its way back. That one was there's a ton of confusion around the style guide stuff, and so we're bringing a little more constraints around the palette and stuff like that.
Love it. That was one of my suggestions in one of our videos at some point. Okay, so we may or may not be able to do that in the future, but I'm going to see if I can submit it as a request
My
of like
question
being
is
able
now-
to add and remove access based on tag or the enrollment workflow. If there could be like a remove, like unenroll trigger on the workflow, or not trigger, but step action. Anyway, okay, go ahead, Dan.
So my question was going to be: so when we did the purchase, we said, okay, they get access to module 1 of this lesson. They don't get access to the other 2. When they're in that actual course, then will they see something in there? Like the Wasabi OTO from 1.0, is there going to be something in there where they can see those 2 modules and click on them and go buy them?
Yes, that's what I'm confused about, because it was definitely
That's what
in
you
there. I
had
bet
been
you it's feature gated and not accessible at the moment, and probably needs to be turned on.
Okay. Yeah. Again, we are definitely you guys' biggest supporters. So, and we understand where we are, and so we're we're trying to do everything to learn, and at the same time send in as many bug reports as we possibly can.
Mhm.
I'm usually 3 or 4 a day when I'm in the editor.
Let's see. There was another question that we had that has to do with. Oh, yeah. So number 9 on our question list here. I'll give more context around this as well. It's like we were wondering, how do you give access to course in bulk after it's built? And I think the obvious answer to that is you send them. Well, they get access based on purchase. I think this has to do with like, how can I manually give access to a lot of people? But I'm not sure if that's even. I can't even think of a scenario.
I know exactly
where
what
you
you're talking
need
about
that.
because
Okay.
we wanted to do that, and it's
Okay.
just it's not built yet. But essentially, I
Okay.
think the vision right now is that, like, let's say you've got 1,000 contacts, you just imported them over from your CRM, right? They're all in ClickFunnels 2.0 now. You built your course on hamburgers, and you're ready to start teaching them. You would go to your contacts tab. You would select to commit a bulk action, bulk enroll in hamburger course, apply, and that should be as simple as it gets.
So bulk actions are coming down the pipeline.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so that's what enrollments are, is basically to give somebody access for free who has not purchased it.
Yeah, unless there's like product or tag specific content within that course, and then they wouldn't be able to access it without going through the upgrade URL. And by the way, I'm looking at our FeatureGate stuff here in the background, and look what I found: module upgrade URLs and module upgrade and lesson upgrade, and they are off. So I'm going to go talk with the team about where that's at and try to get that over.
Okay. So they're in there. They're just working on it.
Yep. It might even be done. I promise you guys, like,
Yeah.
Wait, is off a good thing or a bad thing? Off to me would mean that nobody's working on it anymore.
Oh, sorry. serve false.
What?
They're not turned on in the system right now, is what I took that to mean.
Right.
Oh, okay. So they're upgrades, but they're not on yet.
Correct. They're not visible.
I'm gonna show. See if I can show what we were running into. This has to do with this as well. So on a module, if we click publish, it does give us these options here, where we can schedule to publish it now or schedule to publish. It does have these settings where it's auto enroll in existing students in this module and then send an auto enroll email notification. So I think that's really great. I'm not sure why it's on a module level and why we don't have these options on like an actual course level. But
well, it appeared to me, so they got restrictions in here the same as in 1.0. So the restrictions were at the section level in 1.0. Here the restrictions are at the module level, which is essentially the same thing. Correct?
No, but why? But I would want to auto enroll. So I think this goes back to like being able to bulk enroll people, right? It's like I want to auto enroll all of my existing students into the entire course, not just this one module.
So if your course is published and you go enroll people, we do what are called system email templates, and those system emails will send them a congratulations, you've just been enrolled in Susan's hamburger course. Click here to go sign in. And that goes out at a system level, which is in your settings, system email templates.
Yeah. Okay. So, and there's a commenter that is making like, just saying like, that's for people. So they're already enrolled in my course and I go and I make a new, I add a module and I want to auto enroll everyone into that and inform them that it exists now. And so that was one of our questions too, is what does students mean? It's people that are already enrolled in this particular course, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And so then the question is still like, okay, I created a new course. And so the action of getting people enrolled into that course would either be send them to where you're selling it so they can buy it and get enrolled into the course, or set up a workflow that puts them through a workflow and enrolls them that way, because there is that tag or action in the workflows. Or in the future, we'll be able to bulk add people. As of right now, you can individually, manually add people as well. So
Yeah.
Am I
Okay,
getting
so-
all that correct?
So in 1.0, then we would have used either purchases or tags. So here it's either purchases or enrollments. Because tags, you can let them in
Yes.
for free.
To get them,
Enrollments, here you can let them in for free.
yes, to get them into the course. Tags can also and we will be setting it up like this. If we don't, then we're doing a huge mistake. Tags should be able to unlock content for people as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if one of the things might be because, like, where were we just at in here? Where was I at? There was something about tags for organization, and that shows up in many places, right? Tags to organize your images, tags to organize. I think was I on a lesson or module or something in the settings?
You had just found it in the products too.
Yes. Yeah, that was where it was at. So there might be a little bit of maybe they're reassessing, like maybe that's one of the reasons they took it down. So there's going to be two different types of tags, and that could get confusing for people. Tags for organization, or is it a tag giving somebody access to something? So you probably want to be careful with that moving forward as
Noted.
well. Yeah.
All
Same
right.
with the sections and modules thing. Okay, let's move along. I think we have covered, we got that covered. That one's covered. Oh, I think you just talked about this too, Jimmy. It's a system email that gets sent out when there's a new course, new module published inside of a course.
Yes, that question specifically says when a course is published.
Yeah, which is not a system email. You would have to like go and send your own marketing email to tell people that there's a new course, right?
Correct. Yeah. So if the course gets published, nobody's enrolled on it yet, right? So then you got to go either bulk enroll them or have them opt in, go through a workflow, or have them buy a product that grants access to the course.
Yeah.
In which case they'll get the follow-up email that says, "Hooray, you got access to this thing. Click here to sign into it."
Cool. Okay.
So to answer Andrea's earlier question then, because she said she wanted to be able to basically have an opt-in, but send them into a membership. So in this case here, you could have them opt in and then enroll them into free access, and then they roll straight into the course. But I think I think she was trying to avoid having to log into the membership. So in the way it's set up right now, you would do an opt-in, but then you'd have to send them still to the customer center page to create an account and log in and everything before they got into the membership.
Which makes sense because I to be frank with you, Dan, I don't understand why you guys use the no password login thing. But that's just I just don't understand it.
Andrea came up with that one today.
With the 2.0 system, you could either have there has to be an account associated with the person. You have to have them create an account. So that account is going to have a password associated with it, or it's going to be the magic link sign in. So if they don't want to create a password, they can do the magic link sign in.
Where we used the no email access was only when we were running people from a hub out to tracks. And so there we use the no email, but
we don't need to do that in 2.0 though.
You can't do it. Well, you don't need to do it.
You don't need to, right? Because now you have multiple products.
Once they're logged in,
once
they're logged in, you can bounce them anywhere you want that they have access to.
Sorry, we're getting really geeky over here with our 1.0 custom stuff that we do. Just trying to understand how it's going to translate over. Okay, I think we actually, we lost Jimmy, but I think we actually covered all of our questions. Are there any that have popped up in the comments that, and he's back.
I'm so sorry. I went to go open up a new tab and I actually hit Command R instead of Command T.
Oops. You're good. I was just saying that I think we actually got through all of the questions because even this last one is on here. We already talked about that with Dan about the lesson templates.
I will be completely honest with you. I am still confused on that. And what I was going to do is get into my account and see if there's I'm going to go to the themes and see if I can build some stuff out and get them to actually populate then into that page where I have one available, and see if I can get some other things populated there. And then after that, if I don't get it to work, should I shoot a video to support? Should I shoot a video over to you? What should I do?
You can message me. Like, I'm happy to grind on that with you. And also, what you're trying to do is functionality that we clawed back because it got really messy with what our marketing team was trying to do. So to prevent the mess, we clawed what you're trying to do back. And so if you are doing your workaround of like, okay, well, for every variation of a module template that I'm trying to do, I'm going to make an additional theme and then doctor up that new theme to fit what I'm trying to plug in over here. Like, it works, I guess, if you like clutter.
Yeah, I think that I don't know that Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that you're talking about having a unique theme for everyone, but a unique template, right? Like,
well, so
The
like,
theme is the way that you would accomplish that.
well,
Okay,
my real question is so. Well, let's just take 2CCX program as an example. There's at least 2, if not 3, different ways that they display the content on the screen. And so my question then is, I want to do the same thing. So I want to have 2. I mean, Susan, if you pull up the 2CCX of the funnel builder, it's the same thing.
yes.
If you can pull that up, because
CCX.
we know the sidebar is hard coded. We know that. We know that the success path is hard coded, but that was built, I do believe, on a lesson page. And so they would have had to have a template for that because they use it in multiple places. Then they have the template for just your generic lesson. And then I think there was a third instance as well. If you go to getting started and then, so this page right here. So let's just stop here. So before this page would have been the customer center page with the 3 or 4 different courses that Susan would have. Okay, so it's right there. So now click on the funnel builder. So that's your customer center page. So now this is your blog, your course homepage, correct? Jimmy?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, because he's muted.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted. That's why we can't hear you.
Of course.
Okay, so this is the course homepage.
By the way, we can see this through the URL as well. So if I look at the pathing up there, /courses /course title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so courses is the homepage. Course is a module page.
No, here, let me back up. Okay, so we're at Customer Center.
Customer Center is
onto a
the
product.
Customer Center show view. Now
So
you just clicked into a course. So this is the course home for the Funnel Builder 2 Club course.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now click on getting started. That's just a drop down. We know that's HTML that's put in there. So now click on success path. So in order to do this is all custom coding to build this page.
All of the design of this, you mean?
Yeah, because actually, if you look at the code, each one of those boxes is actually a section that was, I didn't look at the JavaScript, but it's actually a section. So then they would have needed the JavaScript to inject it into those places along the way. That's how they did it. They made a bunch of rows and then injected sections into them. That's how they built that. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not, so this is a lesson, I would guess, at this point here. So it says, it still says courses up at the top, and then funnel builder, and then funnel builder secrets. And
yes,
then
you are looking at a ooh, that's actually a good question. I think that the lesson titles right here are titled module.
Okay, so this here.
Right, if you click on that, it does actually take you to a lesson page. So this may be a module page they built this on then.
You can't. Oh, is that what a module page is for?
It's not necessarily what it's for,
no.
But it doesn't mean they can build it on here. Remember, he said the marketing team.
I'll click it, but I'll try not to show anything. Okay.
So this is a lesson page.
So here's our breadcrumbs now. So we're in the Funnel Builder in 2CCX. Funnel Builder Secrets is
So this is your standard. This is your standard straight out of the box lesson template right here. Lesson theme, whatever you guys want to call it.
Yeah.
So this is your lesson theme right here.
Mm-hmm.
The page prior to that, frankly, the way they built this thing, it could be anything. It could actually have been just a page that they built in the funnel editor or something, or it could be a standalone page, because again, it's not the navigation on the left-hand side is not dynamically created based upon the content in the course. So I guess technically this could be any page you wanted it to be.
I think the lesson here is, as you're building out your course in 2.0, don't use this one as a here's what you could do, because it's not what you can do. This is mostly coded at this point.
Yeah, I'm looking at their hierarchy right now, and there's some stuff that's not 100% lining up with what I'm seeing on your screen.
Okay.
Okay, now open up the funnel builder foundations tab, because I think everything under there then would probably most likely just click on one. So that's module one, but they're talking a training module there. Okay, so well, you clicked on it, it didn't do it, but again, I keep forgetting.
It doesn't navigate to anywhere.
This is not a navigation.
But I think that's how it works. I don't know this, but I think isn't that how that works in here too?
So in there, actually, it'll navigate you to the module show view, and the module
which is the module page, which is found when you go to your
courses
site. Not that one. This one. Is it that one or is it this one?
It's course home.
This one. This one. There we go.
There you go.
This page here.
Yep, that's the guy.
Which I was adding this on earlier, and it just loaded. Okay, so this is module title and all modules.
That would be if that should only show something if you have a nested module.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. I think that's why it gets a little confusing, is you have to wrap your head around like, okay, it says it's a module page, but it's not really going to show me all the modules. It's going to show me the modules that are nested within this module.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
it's
just a headline element, so there's nothing dynamically being created anyway.
I think this is also part of Andrea's older account and may not have like the most recent themes.
This particular workspace is an old one. Yeah. And so our templates and stuff are not newer templates on this particular workspace. I should probably jump into a different workspace when I'm showing stuff.
For this example's sake, like all you would want to do at this point is just say like this module's nested modules, or just nested modules right there, and then you just add in a module collection element, and it'll show you those nested modules or sub modules. Great terminology.
I like that word better. And then that would be modules.
Course : modules, and then the collection. Yep.
And then you just add in that stuff.
The video that Todd put out the other day, he pulled up an element because he was talking about courses. Jimmy, you're the one that dropped it in there. So he was talking about doing the courses, and he pulled up an element that I know I've seen it once, but I can't find it again. It was like way down at the bottom, and I don't even remember what it was called. I meant to rewatch that video before we got on this call today.
Okay. Mine's having some issues, but we get what you were trying to tell me to do.
Okay. He pulled in a weird element.
Do you have any recollection of what I'm talking about?
Sorry, say that again, Dan. What was he talking about?
I mean, you watched the Todd's video the other day, right? So in there at one point, he's building out a course, and he's like, "Oh, okay," and you want to pull in this thing so you can put in like dynamic content or something. And like I said, I know I've seen that in there before, and now I cannot find it anywhere.
For the modules.
I don't know if it was
remember
a module or a lesson.
He did it for the modules page first, and then it's the lesson. So like, I think that it's going to be the same thing no matter where you're at, right? Let me go.
Well, it might be in the blogs. I don't know. It might be in everything. I have not seen it in the editor itself, because that really probably wouldn't make any sense to put it in the editor.
This isn't where I want to be. Hold on. Sorry. I get a little lost sometimes. We're going to go to a module page because I think I do remember like, oh, I never thought to put dynamic content onto a module page. And that was the first thing that he showed. So we go here, module lessons.
Yeah, so it was just an element that he pulled in.
But this is the page that's giving me some trouble, so it might not work.
Well, just anywhere. Just
add a new thing. Dynamic slots.
okay, that was what he called it.
Body, and then he went back to the module settings, and then there was a place to add in content, just like you would a lesson. So we'll navigate over to our modules now.
Okay, so that may or may not be available in the lessons.
It is. This is how you add lesson content. It's just we're doing it on a module page. We're doing it on a module level instead of a lesson level.
Mm-hmm.
Can you add more than one?
Right here.
Like you said, the lesson I was working, the lesson theme I was working on that I completely rebuilt and messed up. When I went into the theme, it did have a big gray box that said something about putting in dynamic content or something.
Okay. So I think Dan needs to be caught up on how the lessons work. So we're going to have a little lesson here. Okay. So I think we have old accounts, Dan. And so all of our templates
mine was
are old.
No, actually, I just created myself a new workspace last week.
But I think even, I could be wrong on this, but I think even the templates in like the newer templates are missing the dynamic content box on the templates. So I just added that content body, and now I have this spot. So I think maybe this is the root of all of your problems.
Well, so I want to answer that really fast, Susan. The module pages do not have that dynamic content section.
They don't. You're right. I think that the lesson ones might also be missing it, but I might.
No, all the lessons have a dynamic content body. And the assumption here was that you wouldn't be putting in dynamic content on a module by module basis, but instead that on a per lesson basis, you might have an additional like go here, buy this Amazon product, or like go to Google Drive, download my spreadsheet or something like that, you know?
Well, I guess for me, as somebody who has to play with everything and wants to build my own stuff, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like being handcuffed so much by these themes. If you're telling me so, I have one theme basically for my modules, and I have to use that and I can't change it, or I can't put in dynamically updated stuff for each individual one. I mean,
you can. So sorry, Susan just had that pulled up, that like that module showed you had a dynamic content section.
Right there.
Yeah, she happens to be viewing the lesson one, but a second ago she had the dynamic content on the module page.
Right. So this is a lesson template, right? And if for some reason, anyone watching, if you don't have this dynamically replaced element on your page, you need to have that on there. And then this is your template. And I believe like you're going to be able to have more than one of these. Like this is a particular setup, but some lessons I may not have a video, so I may not want this video element on here. So I'd also have a template where I don't have some of this stuff on my page. And you can go and on a lesson level, you can set which template you want to be applied to that lesson. So Dan, if you don't want any of that stuff on your templates and you maybe just want a header and a footer on your template, then just have a header and a footer. And then you would go to your...
My problem, and that's something I'll work on this weekend, is seeing if I can create more of those themes. I know I'm like you, Susan. I want to keep calling them templates, but technically they're called themes in here, right?
Let's look at it, because I think it's called templates.
Themes have templates.
Oh.
So here, if these were my template lesson template pages that I go and create a few of them, save them. Hopefully they show up here, and then see like right here.
Okay, where did you create these?
Those are across all the different themes. Those are the course lesson templates across all the themes that she has. So theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, theme 4, 5, 6, 7 inside of her account. those are all different example course lesson templates across those 7 themes.
So
I have more than one theme installed on this workspace, so
Okay,
I have a lot showing.
So you can only create one lesson template per theme.
I don't think so.
Yes, current reality,
is it?
yes. And obviously, like, I'm finding now that this is not the best experience. But what we ran into before was people wanting to deviate 40 different templates. And then how do you categorize and keep track of all those different like layouts and deviations from the original? And before, believe it or not, it was on the left-hand side of the editor. It was in there. It was so we pulled all that out, and yeah, so it's I think this is going to warrant a little bit of discussion about, hey, this is just flat out going to be needed, and how do we do it? How do we introduce this functionality in a way that's not going to overload or overwhelm?
Well, and that was part of my reason for wanting to get you on a little call with us here, is so that we could show you what we're seeing and just go, okay, this ain't quite, and get some ideas from you, and also to give you some feedback is really what it's about, is feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we tried not to swear too much.
Okay, so I don't know if you were following what I was just doing, but I duplicated my lesson template.
Okay.
That was already like branded. And now it's on my standalone pages. So Jimmy, you're saying is like there isn't a way for me to make this part of my theme pages yet, right?
Actually, wait. Yes. Yes, if you go to theme advanced, and then do the drop down for your specific pages.
Okay.
That's a jump.
But that'll replace. Hold on, let me get through my whole thing here, because I think we're in a good spot to work this out. So if I were to do that, and I were to go to my theme settings and the advanced settings, and I were to make this standalone page my page that I want to use for my lesson template, that would replace the one that I currently have set as my lesson template.
Correct.
But in the future, if I have one of these templates is set with like the video element, right? And then I have another template that doesn't have the video element, and I want to like do an overwrite of my lesson. So I'm going into my lessons in a minute here. So my default one right now is my first template. And then I have my duplicated one.
Yeah. And
if I wanted to apply my duplicated one that I've made look different, it is showing here. So I can do this.
Wait, how did you get that?
It doesn't have to be in theme settings for it to show here, is what I was trying to determine.
Hey, that's cool.
Well, hang on here, because I did exactly what you did, Susan. I went into the themes, I duplicated one, gave it a new name, and I'm not seeing anything. I see one thing in that. So again, it may just be my account.
So you might need to reach out to customers.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Dan, now that I've seen exactly what Susan just did, I'll jam with you at some point, and
after this,
exactly
I'll shoot you a quick Loom video of what I'm seeing and shoot it over to you, and then you can go from there. Because I'll tell you, when they did the switch over from because you had a look of puzzlement on your face a few minutes back when we said something about old account versus new account. When they changed over at Funnel Hacking Live and gave everybody else access, our original accounts that we had were all jacked up. We didn't have half the stuff. And
Jimmy knows. He's the one that went and fixed that for us.
Okay.
Or brought it to their attention.
In order to get a new one, I had to open up a new workspace, but then my old workspace turned back on. But I'm in a workspace I created 2 weeks ago, and I'm still seeing the same issue. So it maybe I'm still working off an old version or something.
Did you buy into Inner Circle yet? If you do that, I can give you the good account.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
Jimmy's got jokes.
there's this guy Jimmy in Atlanta that I need to send my kneecap busters down to get some money from. Once they come back with my $100,000, I'll send it over to you.
Sounds great. Sounds like a choice fellow.
Sounds like a deal.
I love it.
But I'm just doing a quick test.
I'm in 2 CCX and funnel builders. I should at least get it somewhat okay.
I'll see what I can do. I'll box Russell. See what we
Yeah,
can
right.
pull.
Okay. All right. I think my last question that I want to just know the correct way of doing this is, and we're about to get there. So I just edited my second lesson template template. And I want to go in and view it as a user so that we can see like, oh, this lesson has this template and this lesson has this template. Let me go make sure that I actually published the lessons. But then I want to know the correct way of like going in and viewing as I guess I have to just go and create a login for my customer center. And then I just log in with that. Is that the right way to do this?
There's a default contact on the workspace that should work for you. So if you just go to, well, I'll say this first. So did you associate this new template to a lesson yet?
I think that I did. I'm going to double check that here. Okay, so I have 2 lessons that are published.
Okay, hit the settings cog and then we'll want to.
Yeah, this one I believe is, I thought I applied it here, but maybe I didn't. So we want this one. Oh, did it just pop up?
Okay.
Okay, so here's the one. It doesn't have video or anything. I do not have content. So let me actually.
Did you need to save that page before you bounced out of it?
Probably. Maybe
No,
that was
because
my problem.
it had loaded with the correct thing. So she made no changes, then it's fine.
Okay. So it just took it a minute to load. Yeah, okay, it's there. Okay, so then
now just go to your course, go to the top, hit preview.
Okay, I'm just gonna double check over here. Yeah, that one's the one. Doesn't have anything on it. Preview. And then it opens up the customer. Oh, it didn't. I don't know. Am I logged into it, or is that just because you're here and it's working? Or
as your default contact right now.
Okay, I don't think that used to work for me, but
it didn't used to. It does.
We're going. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this takes me to not the lesson. I'm viewing my course homepage right now, which I put on this navigation. There's my lessons. Yay! I'm going to enter. So this is the module. Matches my module here. If I click the module, it's going to take me to where I was making my lessons. And then if I click
that one on the
lesson,
left there should be your different one, right?
Yes, this one should be my no video template. No video. And
hot dog.
This one should have a video. It's working.
So you did just create 2 different templates, and one of them is actually right now a standalone page?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right.
So that's how it can work.
So it's working. Okay, cool. I have hope now.
There is hope, Dan. There's hope.
There's hope. Awesome. All right, I'm just gonna quickly look through our comments, see, because I know that there's some people that are asking questions, and maybe we can just quickly do rapid fire. And you can see them too over there on the side. So I think going back to question, I think we drip feature. I'll just put it up on the screen. I think we talked about this maybe. Drip feature, if being used for a challenge, they may enroll on purchase, but how do you only start drip on day 1 of challenges? They're specific date related. So there's the drip feature, but then there's also the scheduler, right? They're 2 separate things.
Yeah. You'll be able to schedule the release of content on a specific date. If it's not there, it's coming very soon. I mean, I know that challenges are a very, very important aspect of what we're trying to do with ClickFunnels.
Sorry about that.
It's very, very important to us at ClickFunnels, and it's also very, very important to a large majority of our customers. So if the publish on specific date isn't here yet, then it's coming very, very soon.
sheets right
Oh,
here.
that's another thing. I don't see that either on mine, where it says drip or lock. I see publish or draft. I don't see
So it's
drip.
only on modules. Are you looking on modules?
Well, I thought I was. I'll have to
Because
check.
I just realized that that's not an option on the lesson. So it has to be on a module level, not
Okay.
lesson
All
level.
right. I'll check that too.
Which I don't know, maybe it'd be nice to have it also in lesson level in the future, but maybe not. So you just click publish, and then it'll give you this option here of setting a date and a time. That's how you do that.
But
right.
also the
Yeah.
person. Wait. Sorry. Was that for drip or was that for publish?
Oh, I'm sorry. This was publishing.
Yeah. So the
their
person wants to
question's
know if
different,
it'll
isn't it?
drip at a specific point in time.
So drip options, it really is so, and this is based on when they've created their account or when they've gotten enrollment or purchased. What is that based off of? Do you know?
Day still drip access is based on when they get enrolled in the course.
Enrolled. Okay, so either they purchased it and that's giving them enrollment, or you've manually enrolled them, or they've gone through a workflow and been
So
enrolled that way.
somebody could get enrolled or purchase and not access the content for 14 days, and 14 videos could have been dropped out to them before they get there.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bringing up a couple questions here because there's definitely a challenges component here that I don't want to say it's not being overlooked intentionally, but I think that there's a little bit more feature or a little bit more functionality we should probably bring to the table here to make challenges a real thing.
I think it would be nice if in the future we could have like lessons don't unlock unless the previous lesson has been completed or something like that. Like it's, and then maybe that is what locked is. What is locked? No, that's module.
Well, but Jimmy said
earlier
you can set a lesson, though, I thought, to not show until they mark the previous lesson complete. But so that's
currently we can't, it appears.
Okay,
yeah.
That's not
but that's a future thing.
Can you do me a favor? Can you set a few of these, just throw them all on a published really fast?
Yeah.
Okay. That should probably be sufficient. Okay, so let's think really fast. So that quality meat one, can you click on that drop down?
Mm-hmm.
And can you hit draft. And now select locked.
On the lesson?
That's a lesson you're not going to be able to.
Because there isn't that option on the lesson. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if there was like a prerequisite for like the previous lesson needed to be published in order for it to be lockable or anything like that. But I as we've been going through, I'm like literally just kind of feature dumping into our courses chat. So we'll see.
Awesome.
We'll see what people say.
And then this one here is a sub module. And this one doesn't have all of the features of this. I don't know if that's needed. I'm just pointing it out. It does allow for scheduling, though, and the enrolling stuff. But it doesn't offer all of the drip and lock stuff.
Cool.
Just an observation.
Yeah.
And, okay, so quickly going through comments. Someone asked about assessments and quizzes inside of courses. I think you guys are working on a survey feature, right?
Yes, assessments.
Assessments, quizzes.
Assessments are coming.
Okay, and this particular person says inside of courses, so just note there. Question: will we be able to just show specific products on the customer center? Yeah, there is a way you can choose to have it show in the customer center or not show in the customer center. I don't know where I saw that, but I know I saw that.
It's on the product edit form.
Product. Okay.
And that specifically is like, it's in the top right. It's product visibility or channel visibility. And you can set it live for, well, eventually I think it'll be for like the store. Then for cart funnels. And then you can obviously associate a product with a funnel. And then your customer center as well.
Yeah, so there's these options here. Second question. Did we answer this already? Show and support, upsell, locked. Will we be able to decide the design and order on that page? I'm not sure what this was referring to.
Yeah, I can answer it. So it's an upgrade URL, and so the styles will all be there. It'll be just like a customizable checkout form, and yeah, you'll check out on that. Get access to the thing.
Okay, what are nested courses for? We were talking about nested modules, and that's exactly what I was just showing.
Nested courses, measure course.
Was it on this one? Oh, I actually didn't have it
Oh, yeah,
published, but it was.
They may,
nested
I think
modules.
I can't see on my end here. It just says Facebook user, but I think this person may just be confusing the concept of a nested course for nested modules within modules.
I remember seeing that comment come in, and it was when we were talking about nested modules. So it was just like, it gives you extra, like, I think of modules as like categorizing and organizing your lessons. And so like for mine, I have my main module is how to make the best burger. And then I have something, I actually think I'd organize this differently if I were to actually do it. But then I made like a sub module of like, okay, condiments for different flavors, but I have like more lessons that I want to put under there. So it's just like, if you think of like a standard bullet point outline system, it's just like that.
It just made me think of those pop quizzes that were like, oh, it's only a 4-question pop quiz. It shouldn't take you too long. It's like 1 A, B, C, D, 2 A, B, C, 3 A, B, C, D, F, G.
Right. There's like, oh, there's only 4 lessons. And then you open up one of them and it's like 8 other lessons inside of that one. Maybe don't do that to people.
It's the old line, if you ever saw the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield from back in the early 80s, the professor that doesn't like Rodney at the end, they have to give him a quiz. And he goes, well, I only have one question for you in 27 parts. And it's just like, yeah, so it almost kills him. And then the answer to it is the number 4. That's the answer. Yeah.
I do have this next question up. Has anyone got the podcast element to work? And they were referring to what Todd was showing in the video that you shared. And it was my understanding that it was being worked on, but not quite ready yet. Is that true or not true?
Honestly, I haven't touched it that much either. I know that Todd showed it in that video, but then I don't remember if he went to like a live rendering of that page or not.
I think he showed it working, if I'm not mistaken, but I think he was just showing it to us guys. I don't think he was saying that we have the ability to do it yet. I think he was like, let me show you this cool thing I'm working on, which is awesome. I love to see that stuff, but I don't think that we have the ability yet. I could be wrong, but it looks like someone else commented that maybe that's also true. So if you don't see it, it's probably not there. But when we get closer into actually building a real course, we will see where we're at and we'll show it to you guys.
It's technically there, right? Because it's like accessible as an element, but then people are asking like, okay, well, how do I actually configure this thing? In which case, yeah, there's a video that Todd has recorded kind of showcasing it. I don't remember how he actually went and did that off the top of my head right now.
We might have to rewatch and then play around with it.
Cool.
Well,
okay.
And did you say Todd had put out like a 2-hour long video on something? Maybe I misheard that. Nah, never mind.
I don't know about that.
But yeah, so I see one last thing here. It says when you choose a course, it has 3 types of courses, and it only used to have 2. I'm wondering, do they put in a third course now? Third course type? You know, where you could pick like nested or basic. I think they had been before. So I don't know if they put in a third.
They moved that blank. There's a blank that, when we were looking at it before of like create your course, blank was just a little button up in the corner. And now it's like a full like box that it's more obvious that you can start with. Like, I think that's all really that happened there. Okay. Yeah. Sense. It's just the same 3 options. It's just more obvious.
Yeah. Yep. That's great.
Okay, did we get through everything? Will there ever? Yep, we talked about quizzes
Quizzes, lesson level access, self-interest, block lesson, professional leaders. Great job, guys.
and 3 types of courses. Okay.
Teaching the
I think we got
dev.
it.
Ridiculous. So funny.
You
Awesome.
didn't see that one.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time, Jimmy. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I, for one, have a way better understanding of what's happening, and
Cool.
I feel more confident in my ability to make videos for everybody else. Um,
And I
Yeah,
feel
thank-
confident in the fact that I think it's just my account, not me. So that makes me feel better that it's not necessarily operator error.
well, and then
We'll-
it's not
we'll
like
see.
as broken as you think
Exactly.
it is.
We'll see how that goes. By the way, like when I'm talking about like old accounts versus new accounts, really I'm really talking about like the themes and template pages. They got passed along to you guys in the early stages. So if anyone has any accounts that are pre FHL, like you guys have templates that might just be old. Maybe go, if you haven't like done too much work, go install a new theme and play around with that and see what options are available there. I was in one account the other day that still had this, like on the course homepage, it was like to do migrate podcast element,
That
which
was
is
mine,
something
yeah.
Todd put in there like probably
It's a
like
to-do
last
list.
year. Yeah.
I kind of was like, I think this is like a placeholder for something that they were going to come back and put in here.
Yeah. No, it's just a really
To-do.
old page template from the
Yeah.
dawn of time. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And then if you do notice anything broken in your account where you're like, they showed that I should be able to do this, but I cannot do this, then reach out to support, because this is beta. Oh, actually, I don't know. Or is it still officially beta? It feels like it should
is
still be beta.
It's beta.
Beta launched beta. They need that feedback. If you're having an issue with your account, please let them know about it so they can fix it and improve it for everybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Anything
obviously,
else, Dan?
Appreciate
or Jimmy?
all the feedback.
That's it. Just thanks to Jimmy for jumping on with us here.
Totally.
This has been cool.
I had fun. It was a good time.
Yes. It was a long time coming. A whole 3 months that we
we may need to have you back next week once we get a little further in.
Let me send you my Stripe checkout form.
Right. Awesome. Okay, everybody, we're going to sign off. Thank you again, everyone, for watching too. And hopefully this was super helpful to you. And we will see you at some point in the respective groups that are watching right now. All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Hey everyone, Susan here. I want to invite you to our special workshops. They are called Geek Camp. This is a place where you can come and learn how to do CF 2.0 for your business, get it all set up, get things built, get them launched. You do not have to figure it out on your own. Come and join us at cfgeekcamp.com.